Hello everybody, Crypto Chaperone here, and today if you've been paying attention to the cryptocurrency markets, we've hit a little bit over a new all-time high market cap. We've hit over $603 billion in our market cap, growing tremendously from where we were even just a month ago. And we are on our way to 650 to potentially 700 plus billion dollars our market cap could be hitting by the end of 2017. That could be potentially something that could happen, as well as we could see a big pullback. As I said in a couple of my other videos, I think that during the holiday season, banks are closed, a couple days in a row, especially with the holidays being both on Mondays this year. The banks are going to be closed for 2 days in a row, for 2 weekends in a row, and there's a lot of volatility in cryptocurrencies when the banking systems are closed, especially on weekends alone. So we might see cryptocurrencies boom during this time, or we might see a little bit of a pullback. But either way, I think as long as you're staying vigilant in this space, you can still make profits from everything. And even if we do see a little bit of a pullback, I think that is going to be a fast pullback. It's going to get quickly eaten up, and we're going to recover and just explode past where we are to new all-time highs in this upcoming first quarter of 2018. And I think that's when cryptocurrencies are really going to shine. I think our whole market is going to grow to over $2 to $3 trillion by mid 2018. And I think we can end in over a $4 trillion market next year, because so many people are going to be coming into cryptocurrencies. We've grown this year immensely from like a $14-15 billion market at the beginning of the year up to $600 billion right now. So there's no reason why we can't multiply this market by 4 or 5 times from where we're at right now to grow it into a $3 trillion market, and potentially just keep growing from there. So if you haven't stepped into cryptocurrencies yet, definitely a good time to get into them. At the beginning of this year, I saw the potential in cryptocurrencies, and I started telling everybody to start investing in them. And, if you definitely would have been seeing the reward for the risk of that. But I have been around cryptocurrency, Bitcoin alone for a few years now. But, if you haven't taken the chance to look into cryptocurrencies, it will definitely interest you, and that's what happened to me. And this space has so much to offer, and there's so many things happening in this space that, it's going to gain everybody's interest at some point in every sort of aspect, whether you're into gaming, whether you're into videos and, filmography, whether you're into music, whether you're into, sharing personal data or data storage, or, you're into, whatever. Anything has sort of its own market here. And that's kind of the cool thing about it. You could be kind of a blogger and get paid for what you do. You could be an artist and sell your artwork via blockchains and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And just everybody can benefit from this space that is growing immensely. So that's why so many more people are going to get into this space, and so many things are going to happen. That being said, that kind of brings me into what I want to talk about today. Now, if you are getting into cryptocurrencies, if you watch my last video, it was a little off sync again, so I had to download a whole new program to mix my videos, and so hopefully these videos start to sync up a little better. I had to work with my OBS software to get my synchronization on point, and now my software that I was using to mix my videos was throwing my synchronization off now. So it's always something, but I think I got it right. Hopefully everything's on par right now. But so today what I want to talk about is, as everybody's getting into these cryptocurrencies, my last video I talked about that was off sync, some ways that you can buy into these cryptocurrencies: Coinbase, GDAX, localbitcoins.com. There's tons of other places. If you just Google buying Bitcoins, you can buy them on eBay for, enormously taxed prices. People are selling one Bitcoin for probably like $30,000, $40,000 on eBay. And small portions of Bitcoin and everything like that are going for, 50-60% of what they're actually valued at. So, as more people start to get into Bitcoin, you're going to start to find them in more places, and you're going to find more things going on as scams and all that, where it's harder to attain the Bitcoins. But after you do get your Bitcoin, what are you going to do with it, and how are you going to approach the rest of the space? And that's what a lot of people are looking for. I have friends and everybody who are into cryptocurrencies, and they ask me where I trade personally and how I get onto other cryptocurrencies. Now, if you trade on GDAX and Coinbase and Bittrex and all these things, one thing that you've noticed is you have to go through a verification phase. Verification pretty much means that you have to submit some information of yourself to prove that you are acquainted to the information that you're submitting, more or less. If you're John Doe, you have to give all of your information for John Doe, and it has to match all of the information that the site looks up to fit your information that you gave them, more or less to prove that you are who you say you are, so you aren't laundering money and whatnot through their platform, and you run into situations where they get shut down and they start getting monitored by all these other governmental agencies that are watching Bitcoin trading, cryptocurrencies, and all this other stuff. So a lot of these places are trying to avoid that, and what they're doing is they're taking all of your information, and what you could potentially have in the future is what you have going on with Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, with Coinbase. And what happened with Coinbase is the IRS was pretty much just like hounding them, give us all the people that have been buying cryptocurrencies, all the people that are signed up on your platform, everybody. And, they took them through all these legal precedents and all this court trials and hearings and stuff, and they spent over $100 million. And they ended up having to give, I think it was like 14,000 names and info from users from the years 2013 to 2015 of people who have bought $20,000 or more in transactions throughout the year. So, if you were buying $2,000 of Bitcoin a month throughout the whole year, you spent more than $20,000 and your name was probably given to the IRS. So what they were doing from this is they're trying to tax people on their initial gains. Now, what they want to do on this is as soon as you move your money from one exchange to another exchange, that is essentially going to be taxable. That is going to be you pretty much, they're going to look through that as you're cashing out. So if I buy into Bitcoin at $100 and it goes to $500 and my money was all on Coinbase and I move it maybe to a personal wallet, then Coinbase is essentially gonna put down that I made $400 on my investment, and potentially I could be taxed on that $400. And then once I move my Bitcoin to potentially somewhere else, maybe Bittrex or GDAX or another wallet, maybe back to Coinbase, and I start doing other trades and I cash back out of Coinbase or GDAX with maybe $2,000 and multiply my profit by 4, and I have, maybe potentially $1,500 that I made, that is also going to be taxed as well. And since you have all of your information connected to these things, the IRS and all these places that are looking to tax you are going to have very easy accessibility to tax you. They're going to have all of your records, all of your addresses that you are using via to hold your coins and stuff like that. So if they want to go in and look at potentially your wallets that you have any of these coins in, they're going to have all of that on hand to do. So what a lot of people are looking to get into is decentralized exchanges. Decentralized exchanges. Got my words tied up there for a second. But pretty much what a decentralized exchange is, it's an exchange without a middleman. GDAX, Coinbase, all these people, they're owned by actual people, and there's a middleman in there that is holding your coin. There's a different wallet that if their whole wallet goes down, you're losing your coins. Essentially, in a decentralized exchange, you are just trading without a middleman. You're pretty much putting your coins out there in your own wallet. You're putting them on a non-really established exchange, and you are trading your coins. Essentially, what a lot of these exchanges do is they can eliminate most, if not all, of fees that you are doing when you are trading. So if you're trading on Coinbase and things like that, you have a very small percentage fee that you are trading. But if you continuously trade in and out and you're trying to pull your profits or play the dips, it's going to start to add up after a while. After 20, 30 trades, it adds up to a few percent that you have been losing in the long term. And that is just money that they're making. This isn't like anything. It doesn't cost this to do the transactions, more or less. It's a pretty small fee to do the transactions, but they're still taking a fee just for you to run the transaction in general, and that's the fee that they make. Now, what you can do on a decentralized exchange is you can exchange your coins, and it's a very small fee that you really have to pay. And the people that pay the fee are usually the people that are buying the coins as well, and they agree just to pay the fee as they're buying the coins based on whatever amount of coins they're buying. If you've ever used like Ether Delta or something like that, you have to pay a small fee for the transaction whenever you're buying the coins for however many you want to buy. But essentially, if you've ever used Ether Delta as well, you don't have to really move your coins onto anything else. It's essentially still your wallet that you're holding your coins on, and you're trading them. You can put them up for exchange or whatnot, and you still have ownership of them. There's not really another exchange that's going to have all of your coins, and they also don't have your information, which is a very big thing. If you do have like something that I talk about a lot, a Ledger Nano S, and you go onto one of these decentralized exchanges, you can essentially just plug your Ledger Nano S or your Trezor, whatever you have, your Keep Key or whatever, hold your cryptocurrencies in it, and you can access this decentralized exchange. You can trade your currencies, and some of these are pretty cool. I looked into this one that actually came up, I heard a lot about within the last couple of days, and it's the BISC peer-to-peer exchange network. Now, essentially what this is it's just an exchange network where you can go on, you can do atomic swaps, where essentially what an atomic swap is you're swapping your coins for the exact amount of another coin, and you're doing it without a fee, and you're doing it instantly. So if I had, 1 Bitcoin equals however many Ethereum, maybe like 15 Ethereum, I could go on and sell my 15 Ethereum or 20 Ethereum, whatever the equivalency is, and it would be an instant swap. And you would do this without a fee, or potentially on a lot of these exchanges a very, very small fee when these happen. And you don't really have to put any of your personal information in when you're doing this. You don't have to attach your ID or anything like that. So if the IRS or someone who is potentially looking to tax you for any of your gains or anything you're doing with your cryptocurrency, if they were looking to tax you on just potentially moving your coins or transferring to a different coin, it's going to be a lot harder for them to do, especially if you haven't used an exchange more or less where you've had to tie any of your information to previously. Like if you've used Bittrex or something like that, or Poloniex, where you've had to put your personal information in, then essentially maybe the wallet that you've used could be tracked. But if you have a new wallet, then you could use these decentralized exchanges pretty easily and without many problems, more or less. So that brings us back to here, and what I want to do is I want to just look at some of these decentralized exchange prices. Now, one that I did talk about earlier in the year that I bought into at ICO was the 0x project. So we'll type in, oh my. Now, 0x, it was down in the very low 20s and even like the high teens for a while, especially pretty much from when it came out. It hit a very high point here, and then it ran down into a very low plateau for a very long time, up until pretty much mid-December, just like about a week and a half ago. And the coin actually just started taking off, and I think the reason for that is just so many more people are trying to get into this decentralized aspect. And owning these coins does let you access the decentralized platform. It does kind of give you, I think you can spend the coins on fees and everything like that, and that's what a lot of these not fees more or less, but the small fees that are acquainted to it, you can use these tokens more or less to just get rid of all those fees in general, or however much the fee is. A lot of these will cut it down even more if you pay with their tokens. So that is something to look into if you do want to get into any of these decentralized exchanges. Essentially, if they do have a platform out and running currently, and they do offer some sort of like a reward system, that where you could potentially, own their coin, like on Binance, where you can use your Binance coins, your BNB tokens, to essentially get rid of some of the fee that is acquired to making a trade. So we'll check out some other cryptocurrencies. I'll show you some other ones that are associated with decentralized exchanges real quick. We've got we've got Kyber Network, which actually ran a ICO right after 0x project, and see, they all ran about the same situation. They're all running about the same trend, but most cryptocurrencies kind of are running the same trend. But right about now, a lot of cryptocurrencies are blowing up, so you can't really say it is exactly correlated, but they have a decent trend that they are following. Another one that you can look up is called NXT. This is another decentralized exchange. It has been sitting low for a pretty long time, but a lot of decentralized exchanges and tokens that are associated with these projects They haven't really come out with any platforms or anything yet, and they are still just pretty much working on developments, and all you have to really work with are their roadmaps that they have come out with. Another one is Qvolta. Qvolta is sitting at 22 cents, highly volatile cryptocurrency. It has a 10 million supply with 6 million, a little over 6.5 million circulating at the moment. And if you look at this movement from this is just over the course of a month, but you have a pretty volatile cryptocurrency here. But essentially, that cryptocurrency may still be getting established into the market, and a lot of people are still moving it around. But what I think is going to happen coming into this next year as we grow and cryptocurrencies start to grow more, people are going to try to hide their identity more, especially as you see whatever is going to happen with whatever the IRS and everything intends to do with the people who they get their information from. Coinbase, those 14,000 users, I'm sure whatever happens to those users is definitely going to be an example set for the future, and that could potentially push a lot of people into decentralized exchanges as well as privacy coins. If we go look at a lot of our privacy coins that have been booming over the past week, one of them is XVG Verge coin. Now, Verge was sitting at a very stagnant price pretty much from the point it ever came out. And up until this year when the whole, cryptocurrency boom, it started getting a little bit of notoriety, but it does have a decent amount of supply in it. It's got a 14 billion circulating supply and a 16.5 billion max supply. But over the last week, more or less, this coin has boomed. So if we look at a 1 day or a 1 month, you still could have acquired this token at less than 1 cent, and if you would have went back a lot of points, you would have been able to acquire it at a half of cent, and even potentially at less than a half of cent, depending on where you were buying it from. And this coin, over the past couple days, has hit an all-time high. I think it was about, okay, well, I didn't know it hit this high, about 9 cents, which is ridiculous. 18 times gain in within a month of a coin that has 16 billion supply. The reason for this could be potentially just because a lot of people were looking around at all these other cryptocurrencies, and this coin is in the top 100. It's a very cheap coin, and once this coin started shooting up, a lot of people potentially would have wanted to get on this. As you know, a lot of people don't really do their research before they invest in these cryptocurrencies, especially a lot of new people getting into the space. They just invest and hope that whatever they throw, wherever they throw it, sticks. And a lot of people that just bringing their new money into this, their ignorant money into cryptocurrencies, that don't know the news or what's going to happen, they might have been going on to that coin. I haven't really found any major information leading to that. I've been looking for some, but I haven't really found anything. But I've seen a lot of people talking about it just because of its boom that it's had, so that might have led more people to buy into it and look into its what it has to offer, more or less. Another coin that we have that has had a major boom recently is Bitcoin Cash. Now, over the last 24 hours, it's had a 25% increase. It is one of the top coins in our top 10 here that hasn't really had a major increase over the past month. As all these cryptocurrencies have had a major boom, it kind of had a boom and then stagnated for a while, and now I guess it's time for its boom now. This could also be happening because of the rumors and speculation that it could be getting added to Coinbase as a coin to buy in the first quarter of 2018, which, as you know, that is one of the mainstream ways that people in the everyday community buy into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and whatever's on that platform, Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever they have to offer. I don't know if they do sell, I think they sell Ether, yeah. I don't use Coinbase, but that is the way that a lot of people get into cryptocurrencies. It has massively grown in the app markets up to, it actually hit, I think, #1 downloaded app in both the Android apps and iOS apps at one point. So, a lot of people are getting into cryptocurrencies. So any currency that does have the potential to get listed onto that platform is going to boom. Another currency that, does have that rumor and speculation going on for it right now is Ripple. So Ripple, it's got a major supply, 38 billion circulating supply, and it still is almost sitting at $1. It has massively grown. It pushed past IOTA. IOTA, after their news that they weren't really partnered with Microsoft, Microsoft kind of came out and said, We are going to work with the Internet of Things Alliance, but we're not signing any official documents. We haven't signed any contracts that we are working with them. And IOTA did release news that they were going to be doing some meetups with Microsoft partners, as I talked about, in Amsterdam, New York, Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo, all around the world, Moscow, and very major places. But essentially, maybe from that information, people might have got it mixed up that there was well, IOTA essentially released the information, but maybe that just helped to push the information that IOTA did have a partnership. But essentially, there is no pen and paper contract yet written up between IOTA and Microsoft. But when there is, I mean, essentially, if this coin can push to here and big investors are not even in it yet, because I'm sure if there was really people who were big investors, you know, Bill Gates' friends and everything are going to get into this coin, they were going to wait until the official news hit. So this coin does have potential to go bigger this year. I think in 2018, pretty much every cryptocurrency that you're looking at, these prices right now are going to be very small compared to what they're going to hit as an all-time high. Neo, I talked about Neo recently. They have been doing a lot in the community over in Japan. They're working with a contest over there. They're holding a contest with QRC, which is Queens Road. Essentially, it's an investing firm over in Southeast Asia, and they are working with Neo, and they're bringing a contest to Japan to pretty much spread the idea of Neo and what it has to offer on its platform. Neo has the ability to offer ICOs and offer contracts kind of like Neo does on its platform. And if you've looked at Neo or what it has to offer, there is a token that is based on the Neo contract or platform or whatever that is called the Red Pulse, and Red Pulse has actually recently seen a little bit of a boost too since this whole news and working with the Japan region and all that. As you know, the Japan and South Korean region and all that has a lot of push and pull on cryptocurrencies. They are pretty much the superpower of cryptocurrencies is what I would like to call them. But, you know, whatever they want to succeed is going to succeed. And whenever they decide to start putting money into things, it will boom. And that's what I talked about with Neo. Neo has been having a lot of meetups. They had a meetup in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the institute there. And essentially just they're spreading what their platform has to offer. So the price when I was talking about it was around $34, I think, in the Telegram channel when I told people to buy into it. And essentially from there, I think it did go up to in the 80s, but now we have subsided back down to about $74. So you could have definitely doubled your money at this point, made a little bit more if you would have pulled out at the right time. But as more news happens, all these cryptocurrencies are going to grow. OMC Go has hit up to over $18. It was very stagnant down in the low to 8s and 9s for a while. So, you know, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, people are just looking for that next thing that's going to boom. People are looking for that next thing that a lot of people call a Bitcoin, you know, what they think is going to be that next Bitcoin or that next Ethereum that people are just looking to throw their money at because they think it's going to be that next coin that goes to $18,000 or $20,000. And you know, potentially if you know a little bit more about this coin, about the news and developments that are coming up on them, you can profit a little bit more than just throwing your money in any direction and seeing what holds. If you play your cards right, you can essentially buy into these coins as developments happen, cash out when the developments happen, after the news happens and the general public starts to buy into the information and everything that was released, and then you can make your profit and move on to the next coin and continue to do this. And especially as you have more ignorant people and more ignorant money coming into the space, and they're just looking for whatever's the raising profit right now. People are going to be buying into Bitcoin Cash because it was raising so much. People were buying into XVG, Verge, how I talked about how it's been multiplying in price astronomically over this past week. It has gone from, you know, 1 cent up to like 9 cents over this past week. So people are just looking for anywhere to get into these cryptocurrencies. And as that's happening, a lot of these are going to boom, and there's going to be a lot of pullbacks on a lot of these. So you're going to want to definitely trade accordingly. If you do miss an opportunity on a big boom, maybe pull out a little bit of your cryptocurrencies. Don't sell all of them at once. Never buy it all in at once either. You always want to just buy in and sell in small portions. and you want to get your feet wet in all these cryptocurrencies because you could potentially have 20, 30 times gains over the next year in some of these, and some of these might only have 1 and 2 times gains over the next year. So even if you only have a small portion of your portfolio in the ones that get a 20, 30 times gain, it'll make up for what you didn't get on the one that only gets a 2 or 3 times gain. But you definitely don't want to risk more than what you're willing to lose. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. You want to keep up with all the information that's going on. News equals profit in cryptocurrencies. And, as I keep trying to bring you guys all the news that I can, just invest wisely. Don't take anything that I say as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and it's not financial advice. Do your own research. Make sure that you're always looking at what you're investing in before you invest in it, more or less. So you're not investing in a coin that's a total scam, even though there are scam coins out there that are making people profits right now. Everything is booming in this growing space. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to it now. If you haven't checked out my Ledger Nano S giveaway video, the link for that is below. All you have to do is watch that, comment on it for a chance to win a Ledger Nano S, and I will talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. If I got a lot of stuff coming up on my schedule in the next couple days, so if I don't talk to you guys tomorrow, it'll be by Wednesday. But I will definitely be back to talk to you guys soon. But while I'm not, just make sure you go out and watch more YouTubers in this ever-growing space, trying to teach you about this ever-growing technology and this ever-growing asset that could be potentially a currency someday, and that could be Bitcoin. As one other thing we want to close with today, I also want to note that Bitcoin did start getting released on the CME futures, and TD Ameritrade has also announced that they are going to be a broker that is going to participate on the CME exchange. So people who have an account through TD Ameritrade can now participate in the Bitcoin futures, more or less betting on what they think Bitcoin price is going to be. So if you guys haven't bet on Bitcoin's prices yet, it's probably always best to go long, but we still might see a lot of fluctuating in the price, seeing that is a public market opening up to more people right there. And a lot of people are going to be investing in both Bitcoin and the futures market, and they're going to be trying to profit in both aspects of it. But if you haven't invested in the futures market, I would advise you not to. If you are just somebody that's investing in cryptocurrency, let's just enjoy our profits as they're going up exponentially, and they're going to continue to do that into this next quarter, this next year, and throughout this whole next year as we go into 2018. So I'll talk to you guys later this week. I'll see ya.